We talked before the debate, like, would he bring this up? No, can't be. As you know, it is past Labor Day, and a Republican is running for national office. And over the past 8 years, that means that there's going to be some type of immigrant scare, whether it's a caravan or whether it's MS-13 or whatever it is. And what happens is this stuff emanates out of like people like Charlie Kirk and whatnot, and then all sorts of like right-wing outlets and, even some centrist ones will start to like promote these lies about immigrants. Venezuelan gangs are taking over all the real estate in towns. Haitian immigrants are eating cats and dogs. And we wondered beforehand, like, no, he can't possibly. But
whoops,
he did. This is their exchange on immigration.
We're going to turn now to immigration and border security. We know it's an issue that's important to Republicans, Democrats, voters across the board in this country. Vice President Harris, you were tasked by President Biden with getting to the root causes of migration from Central America. We know that illegal border crossings reached a record high in the Biden administration. This past June, President Biden imposed tough new asylum restrictions. We know the numbers since then have dropped significantly. But my question to you tonight is, why did the administration wait until 6 months before the election to act? And would you have done anything differently from President Biden on this?
So I'm the only person on this stage who has prosecuted transnational criminal organizations for the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings. And let me say that the United States Congress, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Senate, came up with a border security bill which I supported. And that bill would have put 1,500 more border agents on the border to help those folks who are working there right now overtime trying to do their job. It would have allowed us to stem the flow of fentanyl coming into the United States. I know there are so many families watching tonight who have been personally affected by the surge of fentanyl in our country. That bill would have put more resources to allow us to prosecute transnational criminal organizations for trafficking in guns, drugs, and human beings. But you know what happened to that bill? Donald Trump got on the phone, called up some folks in Congress and said, kill the bill. And you know why? Because he'd prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And understand, this comes at a time where the people of our country actually need a leader who engages in solutions, who actually addresses the problems at hand. But what we have in the former president is someone who would prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And I'll tell you something, he's going to talk about immigration a lot tonight, even when it's not the subject that is being raised. And I'm going to actually do something really unusual, and I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies, because it's a really interesting thing to watch. You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about.
Now pause it for 1 second.
Like
I just want like she chooses to deploy this now, right? Mm-hmm. Like she could have tacked this on to any of. She could have tacked this part, which she's going into, which is the full trigger mode, on any other part of her answers. But she does it on the back of immigration, which I think is interesting.
It's his best issue on polling.
But it's his best issue on polling, but she also does it after she deploys that thing, which I think is really, we're going to hear a lot more of. He'd rather run on a problem instead of fixing the problem, because that is sort of like, that's like, injecting West Wing stuff into the veins of people. Like, we're going to see clips of independents saying this all the time. I listen to NPR. I'm a Republican. I like to hear that, and he's going to have the opportunity to address a problem, but instead he's just going to go bat crap crazy. And this is pretty masterful that they decided to deploy this now,
yes,
or in this moment, and in the way that she pivots. All right, so just continue. I want people just to pay attention to that.
You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom. And I will tell you, the one thing you will not
See
hear him
his
talk
eyes at that
about
point?
is you. You will not hear him talk about your needs, your dreams, and your desires. And I'll tell you,
Breaking
I
the
believe
fourth
you
wall.
deserve a president who actually puts you first, and I pledge to you that I will.
Vice President Harris, thank you. President Trump, on that point, I want to get your response.
Well, I would like to
Wait, David, wait.
Kill that bill, and successfully so. That would have put thousands of additional agents and officers on the border.
First, let me respond as to the
Please.
rallies. She said people start leaving. People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that do go, she's bussing them in and paying them to be there, and then showing them in a
Pause it
different
for a
light.
second. I just want to. We're going to title this episode, I think we titled it Harris Dog Walks Donald Trump. And this is what we mean. Like,
When they cut back to her face.
when you come back to her smile there, in the back of her head, she's going like, cannot believe it.
As we scripted it.
Swish.
100%.
Hole in one. Like, whatever metaphor you want to use, could not have scripted it out better. Like, to the point where he goes, wait, I want to first address the rallies. When she's accused me of not dealing with problems, I want to address the rallies first.
Roberta can wait, okay?
She's exactly like, so in terms of her immigration stuff, it's too far right. We don't like it, but she's not being specific about her plans, which is good politics. She's just hating him on the hypocrisy and hating him on not solving the problem.
Yes.
So I don't love, again, but this is effective.
Oh my
and then,
God.
And then it's even more effective because she's the economy answer had already happened, right? Where she mentions how the Wharton School of Business said that his plan would be bad for the economy, which is where he went to school, and he's very insecure about that. And then
A lot of my professors liked it. A lot of my professors.
and he wouldn't release his grades, if you recall, from that school. Like, these are just these little things where he's such an egomaniac. The right-wing media had been begging him all week, don't take the bait, don't take the bait. And he does it in the first 20 minutes, and then this was the worst instance of
Well,
it.
I didn't take the bait. I ate the entire fishing rod.
Yeah. No, that was the most impressive part about Harris is her ability to like sprinkle those in and also answer the
She
question.
triggers him in the context of he doesn't care about you and I will do it. Like it's the sort of like the Gish Gallop thing, right? But he doesn't get past. As
Yes.
soon as, like, you can see when she said people leave the rallies because they're boring, his eyes go up like this, and then he hears nothing.
Yep.
He hears nothing
Ringing.
other than Mr. Trump. It's just
Like artillery went off in World War II.
yeah, go back. Exactly. It's like one of those moments in the movies where it's like God.
So why did you try to kill that bill, and successfully so? That would have put thousands of additional agents and officers on the border.
First, let me respond as to the rallies. She said people start leaving. People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that do go, she's bussing them in and paying them to be there, and then showing them in a different light. So she can't talk about that. People don't leave my rallies. We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies in the history of politics. That's because people want to take their country back. Our country is being lost. We're a failing nation. And it happened 3.5 years ago. And what's going on here, you're going to end up in World War III, just to go into another subject. What they have done to our country by allowing these millions and millions of people to come into our country, and look at what's happening to the towns all over the United States. And a lot of towns don't want to talk. It's not going to be Aurora or Springfield. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country. And it's a shame. As far as rallies are concerned, as far
Pause
as...
it for 1 second. I just want to tell you. I can tell you what is going on in Kamala Harris's head right now. Like, I cannot believe this fucking idiot just said what he just said.
Look at her face.
I cannot believe. She is like... She is so ecstatic. Like I'm surprised she doesn't fall down laughing.
It's like she's playing a slot machine and all of a sudden like the cherries line up perfectly. And I was, oh, this is way more than I was expecting.
Right. No,
from this.
and what happens is it starts going ching, 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 ching. ching, 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 ching,
Exactly.
ching, 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 like, like it pauses for a second.
I thought it was going to be
Yes.
$25.
Oh my God, I won 25,000.
2,500.
Good.
The cats, they're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country. And it's a shame. As far as rallies are concerned, as far as the reason they go is they like what I say. They want to bring our country back. They want to make America great again. It's a very simple phrase, make America great again. She's destroying this country, and if she becomes president, this country doesn't have a chance of success. Not only success, we'll end up being Venezuela on steroids.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is
The people on television
Grandpa!
say my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good
Yeah.
thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from
But
television.
the people
I'm
on
taking it from
television
the city
saying their
manager.
dog was eaten by the people that went there.
Again, the Springfield city manager says there's no evidence of that. Vice President
find
Harris,
out.
I'll let you respond.
We'll find out.
So, okay.
Okay, hold on. Wait. Let me just say one thing.
Yes.
There may be people out there who do not spend all their time online looking at what,
Yeah.
let's say, the right-wing lunacy is in the darkest, creepiest corners of the internet, or for that matter, what the Republican vice presidential nominee is tweeting about multiple times.
Yep.
There was a video of a woman stopped by the police who had killed the cat. That video is not from Springfield, Ohio. It turns out from Canton, Ohio, 2.5 hours away. The woman, as far as I can tell, is not of Haitian descent. She is definitely not a Haitian immigrant because she has been voting for over 6 years. And the Haitian immigrants who have been brought into Springfield have been done so under the temporary status, protected status program, which is a function of all the political and the political disaster situation in Haiti, and also the natural disasters. And so all of it was sort of made up, but it wasn't made up by Donald Trump. It wasn't made up by J.D. Vance. It wasn't even made up by Charlie Kirk. We have video of the guy who made it up. Here it is. This guy his name is Nathaniel, and he is the first person who seems to have brought it up in the city of Springfield, Ohio. And he is at a city commission meeting talking about Haitian migrants. Nathaniel is a fairly well-dressed young man who also happens to be a member of the neo-Nazi group Blood Pride.
Oh.
Good.
Nathaniel of Blood Pride. I was at the head of the anti-Haitian immigration march earlier this month. I'm sure the Honorable Mr. Rob Rue recognizes me, considering he supposedly knew of our action before we even arrived.
He's a literal Nazi. He marched with swastikas.
First of all,
Do not use
I would like to dispel the myth that you knew of our march and intentionally had no reaction or made no forewarning about it as a preventative measure. You had no more idea than the police officers or Haitians. And it's frankly insulting to our organization to make such a claim. Second, I've come to bring a word of warning. Stop what you're doing before it's too late. Crime and savagery will only increase with every Haitian you bring in. And with it,
I
public
think
frustration
you sound threatening
and
to me.
anger.
You sound threatening to me. I'm going to
Based on the comments
if I could ask the
tonight,
police to go ahead.
I'm
and
sure I don't need to tell you that.
just sound threatening if you go ahead and just peacefully be removed.
These people didn't ask for this. And they deserve better than to have to put up with violent,
Thank you
unruly
so much.
outsiders.
You're done. Thank you. That's all. Thank you so much. Not really thank you, but
Boom.
That's the guy it's attributed to, apparently, for helping stoke, if not develop this meme. And it now, to be fair, that was, what was it, in August? I think late August. So it took, a full 2 weeks before Donald Trump was announcing it on a national stage.
By Elon Musk.
And immigration is supposed to be the issue where he can, I don't know, at least run up the numbers. That's his best polling issue, and the economy too, but she's closing in on that. He went to the most unhinged place that he possibly could after taking the bait on the crowd size and then not addressing her attack at all and putting forward the most insane conspiracy theory that anyone has ever heard in their lives that was funneled in from a neo-Nazi group.
And to be fair, also 4chan, apparently, there was a lot of promotion of this on 4chan, which is also, not terribly surprising. But you sort of want your president or would-be president to have enough people around him and him himself to have the sense to maybe not push this. But the point is, this is what his people want. J.D. Vance is not out there because he's concerned about the pets in Springfield, Ohio. He's not some type of ASPCA zealot who is afraid of what's going on with the pets there. He is pushing it to his people because this is what they believe is going to drive their voters. This is what is a big part of it. And this moron, Donald Trump, was stupid enough to remind people of that, of the sheer sort of hatred of immigrants. And again, these immigrants are here legally. These immigrants are not undocumented. They are here legally. They are refugees. And on top of which, and I don't know why this needs to be said, but it's helpful. They are great additions to the community. Do they need more resources? Yes. The federal government has provided a grant. Also, apparently, DeWine had made a decision yesterday to provide more funding for Springfield. He runs some type of charity out of Haiti. But here's a clip from PBS on a documentary, apparently. This is from a couple of days ago. And so this has been an issue within the context of Ohio. It's there are, as you can see, a couple of weeks ago, neo-Nazis marching against the influx of Haitian immigrants. What's going to happen in this city once the bigots calm down is that they're probably going to have a renaissance of an economic renaissance in that city. Here is this PBS NewsHour report.
Slowly, we had an application pool that was a little bit different.
People coming to work here.
People looking for jobs. What he's welding here again are welded.
Pause it. I'm sorry. We started this a little bit late. Go back a little bit. And he is basically talking about the Haitian immigrant workforce that he has built here. Just take.
That's kind of the beginning of the transition.
Okay.
Live and work here. TPS was then expanded by the Biden administration. Mirsu says he came to Springfield for the same reason most Haitians did. He heard that housing was cheap and jobs were plentiful.
What started slowly, we had an application pool that was a little bit different.
People coming to work here.
People looking for jobs. What he's welding here again are welded axle components.
Jamie McGregor is the CEO of McGregor Metal, which makes welded parts for the auto and farm industries. Right now, about 10% of his workforce is Haitian, over 30 employees.
I wish I had 30 more. Our Haitian associates come to work every day. They don't have a drug problem. They'll stay at their machine. They'll achieve their numbers. They are here to work. And so in general, that's a stark difference from what we're used to in our community.
All right, pause it. First off,
the sudden arrival of so much.
Pause it for a second. Now, there's something I find gross about this, to be honest with you. That just the idea that this guy's oh, there's I define these people by their capacity and their willingness to work. But within the context of this community, the idea that these, and make no doubt about it, to have any influx, I mean, if 20,000 new people from Ohio moved into Springfield, Ohio over the course of whatever it is, 4 or 5 years, I mean, it would create issues.
A lot of people moved, or a lot of rich people moved into Montana during COVID, and it has created lots of housing issues there.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. But then the question becomes, okay, you have growing pains with a small city. Where are you going to be after you work through these growing pains? And it is quite clear from just this, that they're going to be in a better place. You're going to have the misery that this guy is talking about that has been there with the, I guess the existing population in Springfield, where the guy says he's basically saying I couldn't get people to come and reliably hold jobs, that we had a lot of drug problem issues. That comes from an economic deprivation that's going on there, from a lack of services, and from a dying city.
Yeah, it's a dying city with a lack of labor supply.
And this influx of people who are interested in improving their lives within the context of this system that we have is going to salvage this city.
Immigration is good.
It's economically beneficial. It's not demographically beneficial if you're a white supremacist. But the key is to organize it and make sure that it is not exploited. By I don't trust CEOs to see these people as anything other than a cheaper input. But yeah,
let's just hear the rest of this.
To work, and so in general, that's a stark difference from what we're used to in our community.
McGregor acknowledges the sudden arrival of so many new immigrants is a challenge on multiple fronts, but he believes this is partly how the industrial Midwest can regrow.
We want more jobs in our community, and in order to fill those jobs, some jobs need to be people who are not originally from here.
There's things in the last 5 years that have really changed and has been
Okay,
forward.
all right, well, that's it. And incidentally, he says these immigrants are going to help the industrial Midwest regrow. Guess what helped it grow?
A lot of immigrants.
All right, let's go back to Donald Trump's immigration thing and just wrap that out because this is. I think they couldn't have sketched this out. There's no way in their wildest imagination that she's going to say this about the rallies and he's going to be talking about them eating cats and dogs.
Right.
If an advisor to Harris said, hey, talk about the rallies, and he's going to trigger him and he's going to be talking about cats and dogs, everybody's going to go yeah, okay, it may,
sure.
It may trigger him, but he's not going to do that.
But it's exactly how she wanted it to play out, both in the sense of his campaign wanted him to look more moderate on abortion, as we mentioned earlier. That's why J.D. Vance was coming out and saying he'd veto a national abortion ban. But Trump didn't want to do it and is also incapable of discipline. And then this is the same thing. This is an issue where he should be able to run up the numbers, right? But he couldn't help himself from going to the most extreme, conspiratorial, and insane place. And I think the cats and dogs thing is the soundbite. I think that's the big soundbite that came out of last night. And
do we have the Peanuts thing? Should we play that? I don't know how long of a clip it is.
I can send it, yeah, but maybe.
I already put it in there. All right, we don't need to play it. All right, so where are we now? Where is this?
This is just around the crowd sizes thing. Do you want to go a little bit further on?
I think we kind of got to that part, yeah. we bookended it well by fact checking that insanity.
Well, that's the scary thing about that, because this is still a close election, and they are talking about massive deportations, and it would be communities like the one being demonized with Nazi hate, like that Haitian community in Springfield, and it's despicable, and it's crazy how fast that gets up the bloodstream.
Exactly.
To a presidential nominee and a guy who owns one of the key communications platforms in the world.
Well, let's also be fair. They're shopping for this stuff. Oh, yeah. This is not just a push dynamic. It's a pull dynamic.
Right,
They're
yeah.
looking for this stuff.
Give us something to work with.
And, you know, in our conversation with Weigel yesterday about that, that reporting they have done on that Zoom call where somebody was basically saying, here's $10,000 or $20,000 for you guys, and we don't know who the you guys are. We know one of them was George Santos, and he left the call because he was disgusted by it, if you can believe it. We don't know if they were YouTubers. We don't know if they were Twitch streamers. We don't know if they were Twitterers. They're probably some combination of all of them. Rumblers. Push this. Get $10,000, $20,000. This is a constant cycle. And they seed this stuff, whatever bubbles up to a certain level, they probably have some type of threshold, where something's trending. They'll all try it. I imagine Donald Trump is out there. I mean, I know that's what happened with the Cernovich thing with me at MSNBC. It was when Gorka and Donald Trump Jr. retweeted Cernovich is when the problems began. That dynamics changed,
right?
But that's the way that that's their business model. That's their model. All right, let's just do this last one because I think that wraps up the. Oh no, wait.
We've got more.
Oh yeah, we got more.
There's a lot.
Well, we don't need to go. I mean, if you watch the debate, there were many times where she would say the phrase "turn the page."
Yeah.
And the idea was, again, she wants to be the continuity but change candidate. She wants to be, I'm not old. She didn't call him old, but she didn't have to. She compared at one point towards the end Biden and Trump.
Yep.
And said, we want something different.
And that's why he also, when he said I saw it on television, that's what I wanted to say earlier about the dog eating. Well, I saw it on television in response to him saying there's no instances of it. That just came off as extremely old man grandpa yelling at the television without her even having to point it out.
Yep. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.